About 12 million or almost 13 million kids in India go without education from ages 6 to 18. More than, I think, 20% of that, or about 20% of that, are from the ages of 15 to 18, which is around high school age, of course, for us, which is what we are focusing on. So yeah, there's a lot of lack of opportunity, especially with the government and lack of buildings and lack of development in a lot of the more rural regions of India. So Dhruv and I, in our junior year, the co-founders, we were in the library actually at our school one day, really late at night, and after sports, and we were talking about our visits to India throughout the years and what we've experienced and what we thought through eyes of people who live in the US and people who live in New York of the children in India. And we felt like because we had so many opportunities going to Fieldston and living in New York, we were able to do something to help those kids. So last summer, Dhruv actually traveled to India in the Satara region where we're now helping. And he met with the group called the Maharashtra Education Society.
The school was off, but the organization brought in all the little kindergartners just for me to get a feel of the place. Because I said I wanted to really help and they wanted me to really understand what I was helping with. So after touring the place, seeing their facilities, we sat down in the office, they showed me their plans and they said, look, we have the lower and middle school building, but it ends at 8th grade. And we're serving the 7 rural villages around us. We really want a high school building. We need a high school building because without it, these kids can't go to college, they can't go to any jobs besides what is in their village. So they're really stuck in this cycle of poverty, which they were born into.
And they basically transport these kids through buses, and the school is pretty much free. There's a small cost depending on what you can pay, but they basically operate it almost as a nonprofit and bus around the kids in the 7 villages to the school and back.
Well, especially coming from the US, you don't see all these people on the streets like you do in India. And what I mean by that is there's so many children and men and women begging on the streets and coming up to your cars, and you can see them in actual slums along the roads. And it's very alarming from the US, especially because you just don't see anything like this. And noticing it for the first time was I just didn't know how to react. It was just so confusing and bizarre, and it just didn't seem right to me.
They don't have anywhere to go unless the parents actually put the effort forward into bringing them somewhere else. But for a lot of parents, that's very hard, especially in these smaller villages. So a lot of them go without education afterwards and continue doing what I guess they can.
We just thought, we'll start it, we'll see what happens, but at the very least, the effort is going to make some difference whether or not we actually raise the money. So in some way or another, we're going to make a difference.
Dhruv has had much more experience talking to the organization, obviously meeting them face to face, but they've been absolutely amazing with us. We've asked for multiple things to help us with our fundraising efforts, and they're more than happy to help us. And obviously just being a part of the Sher Organization for about a year now, it's been absolutely amazing. Not only have we brought together a great community to help us with Sher here with other high schoolers, but we've also developed a community with people that we've met while fundraising. Notably, we had our Holi event. Surity, which is an organization in New Jersey, they host a huge Holi event. So we did a fundraising effort out there, and we met a bunch of amazing people there, mostly of Indian background. And of course, they obviously felt the cause very strongly, since a lot of them were not only born in India, but see back home what's going on. So we've had a lot of great discussions as well and built a community around Sher, which I think is the best part.
So we want to not only spread the message of the issue, but also spread, that we are trying to do this particular goal. And in the long run, we don't just want to do this. We want to have multiple partnerships with multiple organizations so that we can make the most impact possible. But starting, we're just working with the Maharashtra Education Society.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely rewarding, but I think our goals are definitely super high, and we're not going to be happy until we've met the high goals.